Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning. Happy Friday. You are tuned in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network, also featured on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, as well as 94.7 HD2. I am Joanna. I am sitting in for Kennedy. She is recovering. She will be back in full force next week. Lots to talk about this morning on this Friday. Of course, we got to talk about the heartbreak at LCA last night. Bertuzzi's 4 goals did not get us the win. Guys, what do you take away from the season opener with the Wings?
Oh, Jeff, you were there, so I'll let you start.
My God. The environment of Little Caesars Arena during last night felt like a playoff environment. It was electric, and now you got Tyler Bertuzzi going for 4 goals and 4 shots. Played absolute. He's the Energizer Bunny of that team. He is. I love Tyler Bertuzzi. He really lit it up last night. Dylan Larkin had the early goal. And then we'll talk about the whole Matthew Joseph left hook that essentially, it was almost a statement because Tampa Bay were poking the bear all game. I mean, you could tell they were pushing around Lucas Raymond. They tried messing a little bit with Dylan Larkin, didn't go their way. Dylan was not playing those games. Giovanni Smith was getting under people's skin. I loved it. It was great. If what you could take from this game, especially being up 4-1 late in the second period. Tampa going on a late scoring run that got 2 goals back-to-back pretty much. And, the rest of the game just kind of took over from there. But besides, you got Tyler Bertuzzi's goal. Mo Sider had 2 assists. Didn't take a shot, which, I want him to be a little more aggressive. Lucas Raymond had 1 shot, 1 assist. He played pretty good. But it's honestly a lot of positives you could take from last night. I mean, they walk in, they're going against a team who can't afford to be down 0-2. The champs, the Stanley Cup champions, they come in, at least have them up 4-1. Everyone in the arena's feeling it, feeling the spirit, and they just absolutely take the heart out of everybody in that arena, including me. I was there. But nonetheless, though, very positive. You can take a lot of things from last night. D-Mac said it on the halftime broadcast too, like, this team, I mean, they weren't backing down. They were showing fight. I mean, early on, Tampa Bay was trying to set the tone. They shot double the shots on goal than the Red Wings, and it was only a 1-point game at the end. I mean, they were more efficient. They got to get better in their power play situations because, Tampa Bay got 3 goals in power plays. Tyler Bertuzzi was the only one who scored for the Red Wings. So that's something they're going to have to fix and get better at. They weren't that good last season, so you just got to get better in those areas. But in terms of just competing, I thought they did a fantastic job. It was great seeing everyone back. Just the spirit of Detroit and Hockey Town. It was awesome. It was great to see. And I mean, if you're a fan of the Detroit Red Wings, you could take a lot of positive things out of last night. Besides a loss, I think personally, it was great.
Tons of energy. It looked
tons of energy.
Jam packed. Haven't seen LCA that packed in a while.
Yep.
Good to see. But I've got to say, it looked really great. If you just look at the final score, you look at how the Wings were up 6-3. It looked really great.
Yeah.
But there were glaring concerns, at least for me. 25 shots on goal. You're not going to score many goals in the NHL, only getting up that amount. I believe Tampa Bay got up, 45, 46 shots on goal? So
yeah, almost double.
Penetrating the zone, setting up your offense, getting the your defensive lines involved. Like, your linemen are crucial. You brought up Sider not getting a shot on goal. Like, I don't recall a defenseman really getting a clear shot on target.
No, they weren't.
It
really.
was a struggle. They had a few bounces go their way. Tyler Bertuzzi, what a game, what a goal. 4 shots, 4 goals. I mean, that kind of efficiency doesn't happen often. Opening night, I was all for it, believe me. But this is the Detroit Red Wings that you're going to watch this year. Hopefully exciting, but glaring holes. Very young, inconsistent on the power play. Don't take advantage while they're up. They don't really put their teams away, and that's something you've seen under Jeff Blashill since day one is, they'll be up in games and they will blow the lead, or they'll go to overtime, so they'll walk away with 1 point instead of 2 points. I mean, this is a reoccurring theme. This is what I expect from them all season. Maybe not the amount of goals, but 25 to 28 shots on goal is kind of where I expect this team to be on a consistent basis. I mean, I don't see them putting up 35, 40 shots a game. I think you can see that maybe midway into the year. But my takeaway was that was the best case scenario that could have happened. But I think it's fool's gold a little bit. 25 shots on goal. You're not going to score 4, 5, 6 goals a game. Yeah. You're not going to
especially
shoot
putting
20,
your goalie
25%.
in that position. I mean, Nedeljkovic getting 50 shots on net.
Yeah, again, young team, going to make a ton of mistakes. All for it. It was so exciting. Great to watch. I think this will be the most exciting Detroit team to watch for this upcoming season.
I agree.
Between the Lions, the future Tigers, and even the Detroit Pistons with Cade Cunningham. I think the Red Wings are going to be the most exciting to watch. But there's the concern. I mean, I brought it up. Your inability to really get shots on goal. Did you take advantage when you did have opportunities? Absolutely. But let's be realistic. To be a good team, you kind of want to have the benchmark of 30, 32, 34, 35 shots on goal. And that's what the Tampa Bay Lightning did. They just kept coming. They're the defending champs for a good reason. They weren't falling for 0-2 last night. I mean, my goodness, that game was spectacular. Great to watch. What, 13 total goals?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Talk about that over bet, Adam, on the 5.5. I mean,
you know
listen,
what?
this made a field day yesterday.
Let me tell you guys. Listen, I may have discovered something last year.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure all of you, all of the listeners that were here this time last year heard me sit up here every Monday through Friday talking about my 5 best bets. And when hockey season was on, I would always take the over whenever the games were set at 5.5. And here we are. Alex, if you may bless us with my ticket from last night. What did I do? I took all the games that were over 5.5. And if you pay attention, you'll notice they all hit. The Blue Jackets, that over hit at 5.5. But, I was confident they would win, so I took the money line there. But still, 5 out of 5. That ticket was a $25 bet. It paid $516. I got to say, I love it. I love it. It was a great night. Guys, betting the over at 5.5 is like a cheat code. It's 9-0 this year when I've bet it. There's only one game that's lost on the over, but I didn't bet it, so I kind of don't count it. I disregard it. But still, guys, Jesus, what is going on here? I love it. I had the Islanders over against the Hurricanes, the Canadians versus Sabres over. Oh, my goodness. Red Wings, Tampa Bay. That was done pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, takeaways from the game. The young guys played as good as they possibly could play in their first games.
Yep.
I'm really excited about this team. This is must-watch TV for the next 81 games. And that's the situation the Detroit Red Wings are in. Joanna, I wanted your thoughts on the game last night. LCA was packed. Fans were really involved. I mean,
it was so fun.
It was a good scene.
It was fun watching it, and I'm excited that Jeff and Fish got to be there last night. But when the hat trick happened and all the hats flew on the ice, we haven't seen that in quite some time, and it was so fun to watch that.
Yeah.
And it literally, look, we talked about this before the show, like a playoff game. The atmosphere, the way everyone was chanting, LGRW was trending on Twitter. I mean, it was crazy. Hockey Town is ready to be back, and I took a lot of good out of last night's game. The young guys were showing me what I thought they would. With Sider had 2 assists, and so I think we have a good outlook for the season. Are we going to win the Stanley Cup? No, but I think it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a fun season. It's
going to be like one of those. I like to compare it to last year with the Pistons. Obviously, I think they'll win more games than the Pistons, but just in terms of competing, like the Pistons go up 15 against the Lakers and then just end up losing the game. Like it's weird. Like you got to show those flashes for at least fan bases like to get engaged. It was a great game last night. There is some glaring holes a little bit. I mean, it's obviously a young team, so you're expected to at least. But
yeah, I mean, you're not expecting them to make a playoff run.
No,
so you just want to enjoy the hockey.
Yeah, that's all.
But like realistically evaluating the team, this is a very young team. Were they able to take advantage of their power play? No. Who did? The experienced veteran team, Tampa Bay did. Every time you were down a man, Tampa Bay were making you work for.
Yeah.
Like that, that's the difference. That's where you want to work towards. That's what you want to be in a few years. But right now, yes, penetrating the zone and not getting enough shots on goal are a problem. And they're going to be a problem for the entire year. This is a very young team. Some games you'll see them get up probably near towards 35, 38, even 40 shots on goal. And some games you'll see them at 18, 20, 22, 24. It's inconsistent. If you're getting less than 10 shots a period, on average, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to win
efficient.
in this league.
Yeah,
you're not going to be that efficient.
No,
that just doesn't happen. It was an amazing opening night. Tyler Bertuzzi, hats off. I mean, what a game! So many people you can praise, but like again, this is a very young team. And if you're going to care too much or be too much invested in win-losses, you're going to be disappointed. Don't worry about that.
Don't do the art strategy.
Don't do the 10-7 limo strategy with the Detroit Red Wings. Don't think this team is going into the playoffs and making a run. They're a few years from that, but guys, they look good.
I want to ask you, get your opinion on this. Obviously, we're at the game. We saw it. Matthew Joseph, he's kind of, punking Lucas Raymond a little bit. Lucas Raymond, they made sure to let him know later in the game. Kind of cheap shots Larkin. It looked like in the back of it was like the neck area. And we know Larkin suffered the neck injury last year in Dallas, so he remembers that. He definitely remembers that. He sucker punches Matthew, and I don't know. They were talking about suspension. What's your take on that? Your captain getting into a scrap. But that's
I've been harsh on Larkin. He does have the captain jersey, but he hasn't really acted like a captain. And yesterday was freaking awesome. That's what I want. No, seriously,
I agree.
It's a young team. They're all looking around like who's the leader of the team. It could be the Kaiser, it could be some of the older guys, but no. Larkin, it's got to start with you. And for him to score the first goal, do what he did.
Yep.
It was a perfect night. I think for him, he really gained a lot of brownie points last night.
I agree with you.
I was impressed with it. I thought, was it a cheap shot? You know what? I mean, so was the check into the board. So he kind of had it coming. He was lucky that the glove was on, to be honest. If the glove wasn't off, that probably could have been worse. But
you put him to sleep.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, he whatever.
I want to get
it happens. It's hockey.
No, I get you. I want to get your take on it because I heard Darren talking about it at halftime. He agreed. He said he set the tone. That's what he's doing. I mean, some people doing the broadcast were like, I don't agree with the decision. D-Mac's like, man, he gets it. Hockey player. He's like setting the tone. He's out there. He's a team captain this year. So yeah, you're absolutely right. He's out there setting the tone.
Yeah, I mean, this is something he really needs to do on a consistent basis. So I have no issues with it.
Yeah.
Good for Dylan Larkin. I mean, that's what you want from your captain. Again, this is the captain of the Detroit Red Wings. This is the guy in 2-3 years' time is going to be leading your team into playoff runs. Does he have that leadership mold in him? I believe he does.
We'd assume so.
I think yesterday was a good start. I'm not saying he has to fight every night, but hey, hold your ground. I liked it. I really did. We got to head to break, don't we?
Yes, we are going to head to break. Right after the break, we're going to switch gears from Thursday night hockey to Thursday night football. We're going to recap the Bucks and the Eagles. But first, Jeff, let's hear about our friends at Northwestern Tech.
Yeah, if you or anybody you know is looking to go to a trade school, I know a good one. It's Northwestern Tech because they hook all their graduates up with a job right after graduation. You could start a new career in an industry that is always essential. It's the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back. You are tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. There was, of course, hockey last night. There was also football last night. Tampa Bay Bucks taking on the Eagles. Tampa Bay winning. Closer game than I thought it was going to be. What are your thoughts on the game last night? Who showed who was the better team? Obviously the win, but what did you take from last night?
I mean,
you go first.
Tampa Bay's legit.
Yeah.
They're the defending champs for a reason. Tom Brady doesn't age. It doesn't make any sense. I'm done talking about it at this point. If anybody in the near future wants to have a conversation with me about Tom Brady, I don't want to have it. It doesn't make any sense. It defies all logic. It defies physics, science. It defies everything. This guy is unbelievable. Now, he probably could have thrown for 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes last night. Again, if it wasn't for, of course, the red zone running opportunities for Fournette and also the horrible calls by Bruce Arians that really kept Philly in the game. I mean, they were throwing the ball in a 4-5 wide set.
I know.
Early in the midway through the third quarter, and I'm just like, you're up 3 scores. Why don't you just running the ball, at least on first down, milk a minute or two, get Brady to convert on a 3rd and median, which he showed he could do all night. I questioned their play calling last night. Jalen Hurts looked awful. 12 of 26.
Horrible.
Barely over 100 yards. Yeah, because he's a good fantasy quarterback. That means he's a good quarterback. Guys, get over yourselves. So all of you DMing me on Twitter, enough with the Jalen Hurts. I'm still waiting for you to respond back. You know, after week 1, I got a lot of grief that Jalen Hurts is the guy. He's way better than you thought, Adam. And here we are, 5 games later, and he looks like he shouldn't be a starting quarterback. If anything, he should be a running back. Wow, great job. Looking great. Moving on from Jalen Hurts, we got to talk about one specific running back who I thought, honestly, really took over last night. Leonard Fournette.
Mm-hmm. Jags released him.
He's not Derrick Henry, but after halftime, late third quarter, start of the fourth quarter, he starts becoming even more difficult to tackle. You're tired.
Yep.
You're beat up. You spent the whole game fighting, clawing, trying to stay in the game, and then here comes this literally cow of a human running towards you. 240 pounds, pretty fast, lowers his shoulders. It's a difficult dude to tackle. Leonard Fournette, I mean, this reminds me so much of the Patriots when they had LeGarrette Blount. They didn't have a run game that you really had to worry about, but situationally it was such a problem.
Yep.
3rd and short, 4th and goal. Any goal line situation, you knew LeGarrette Blount was getting in. I mean, that's kind of what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have with Leonard Fournette. A guy that, every 3-4 games can pop off for 70, 80, 90, 100 yards. But realistically, he's just a good goal line threat, and he keeps teams honest. And for me, again, Tampa Bay, one of the more complete teams. They're doing it without their secondary. They're sitting pretty at 5-1. And if I took away anything yesterday, more than just a team element, it was Tom Brady.
Yep.
You go break down the film of 31 other quarterbacks, and that includes the great ones, the Herberts, the Mahomes, the Rodgers, the Josh Allens, and then compare it to Tom Brady. He's seen it all. You can't confuse him, and my goodness, it feels like time is just so slow when he's standing there in the pocket. It's like he always has 7-8 seconds to throw, even though he doesn't. It's unbelievable how efficient, how knowledgeable, how great he actually is. He steps back and knows what everybody is doing before they know what they're doing. It's unbelievable to watch. And honestly, if I'm a football fan just in general, I'm watching, I'm tuning in, and I'm appreciating it, because I don't think you're ever going to see a guy play that late into his career at that level. And, I mean, again, another MVP-type performance, almost 300 yards, over, 70% completions. I mean, Tom Brady, you just continue to impress and defy everything that human common sense would argue for.
No, he defies all odds. And I want to bring up this, Bruce Arians, we know what Bruce Arians' coaching philosophy is. It's risk it for the biscuit. He has Jameis Winston. He's a gunslinger. That's his background as a coach. So he come in with Tom Brady. Tom Brady joins Tampa Bay 2 years ago, and it pretty much changes the system for Tom's system. It's very pass to running backs. Leonard Fournette now turning into a receiving back. As the last 2 years he's been on Tampa Bay, and he's looked great. Passing to, throw it to him out the backfield. I want to talk about Nick Sirianni for the Eagles, because every time someone thinks of Nick Sirianni, you think of his stuttering at the press conferences. When I think of Nick Sirianni, I think of someone who doesn't know how to run the ball. Now, Miles Sanders got 9 touches the entire game. He had 1 carry at the half. 1 carry. A single carry. And the game was relatively close at that point. He asked pretty much Jalen Hurts to run and throw him to victory, which didn't work out. Jalen Hurts, for that matter, 12 for 26, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, just cleared 100 yards. Yes, he's good in fantasy because they use him in the red zone with his legs. He gets 2 touchdowns. But other than that, they've had one good win this year, the Eagles. They won 32-6 opening day against the Atlanta Falcons. They ran the ball 15 times in that game. Ever since then, they've been getting significantly less every single game. I wouldn't even count the Panthers
What I
win.
don't understand, honestly, is this whole Miles Sanders situation. And forget the fantasy aspect of it. This guy last night, 9 carries, 56 yards, over 6 yards a carry.
6 yards a carry.
In the second half, he was near 7 yards a carry. He broke out for a 23-yarder, a 12-yarder. I mean, the guy can make plays. Miles Sanders is no, scrub.
Right.
He's a good running back, dual threat, can catch out of the backfield, make plays, and make people miss in open space. I don't understand how they're using him, and they're acting as if Jalen Hurts somehow has, the greatest weapons on the perimeter. Devontae Smith is young. Quez Watkins, I mean, who?
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is washed up and well past it. Jalen Reagor, all he was good for was defensive pass interference calls yesterday. 0 catches. I mean, What are we doing? This offense, it doesn't exist.
No.
How they even put up 22 points is beyond me. It just shows how the mistakes that Baltimore, Tampa Bay made.
Yeah.
Especially with playing the field position game, going for it on fourth down, not getting it, allowing them to go down 30, 40 yards, score a touchdown, and even give themselves a chance. I thought it was ridiculous. Bad coaching, and against a good team, you probably lose that game.
Oh, yeah, you do. And I was watching the game, watching the highlights back, and the Philadelphia Eagles had like one first down in the first quarter. Like I don't know what their issue is offensively. Nick Sirianni, this young offensive coach. The Philadelphia Eagles have the youngest coaching staff in the league, and it shows. I mean, they're making obvious mistakes. Everybody knows, like, look what Matt Nagy, we criticize Matt Nagy. Look what they're doing in Chicago. They're giving Justin Fields the keys, but just telling him, listen, you don't have to string us to victory. Our defense in the run game could win for us. Just be a game manager, be the best game manager Justin Fields can be. And he hasn't looked great, but he's looked decent. He's looked pretty good. So this is what Jalen Hurts needs to do. You're asking the guy to throw you to victory and run you to victory. Good luck with that. It's not going to, you only can go as far as Jalen Hurts can take you. So that's what I took from it. Tom Brady was, besides the interception, it was magnificent. I mean, but what are you going to expect? That's the GOAT. That's Tom, and he finds a way to win no matter what. The score, if you look at it, 28-22, very misleading. And the Bucs, they played well. I want more out of Mike Evans, though. I'll finish it with that because he's been making me mad.
Joanna, your thoughts on Tom Brady? What do we do with this guy? He doesn't stop.
No.
I don't think he's going to stop. And he may play till he's 50. And I'm just like, can you leave?
I know. Well, no, I don't know. But you don't want him to leave because he's good for the league. And
he is great, but Jesus.
And he's good to look at 44. But he makes it look so easy.
I just don't want him to take one of those hits one time.
Right.
And
he's too smart to do that. He's not going to do something like that.
Like a blind
this
side.
This guy is like 5 seconds ahead of everybody playing out on the field right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, and I think he's going to keep rolling because their next game is at home against the Bears. So I think that's going to be another win for them. So Tom's going to keep rolling. And like I said yesterday, he's in my conversation for MVP because I think he's going to have that season.
5-1. Again, if this is a 14-win team, which honestly it's looking like that may be the case, what do you do? Their schedule up, it's so easy. Their 3 of their next 4 games, I want to say, are against. No, their 4 next games are the Bears, then the Saints.
Yep.
Bye week, Washington, and then the
Giants.
the Giants.
Yep.
That's a cakewalk.
Yeah. Yep.
They may be 8-1, and Tom Brady may have thrown another 20 touchdowns in those 4 games.
He probably
It's
will.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't quit. I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's great
he's the
for
GOAT
the league.
for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. To transition, before we got to head to break, I really want to touch on the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just the sole issue. I'm not saying firing Doug Peterson wasn't premature or, I think they made good decisions overall. Where they messed up, they had the right idea. They just totally executed it the wrong way. And what I mean by that is the GM hire, the head coaching hire. I mean, I don't know the direction the Eagles are going in. They're 2-4. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you're like, well, you already messed up our draft position. I mean, there's 2 teams possibly in the NFL that'll be 0-6 after this weekend. Multiple teams 1-5, and we're sitting here at 2-4. And like, I don't know. Devontae Smith, he's been pretty quiet. 3 of the 6 games we've played. So like, he's inconsistent. We're not getting a lot really out of him on a consistent basis.
Yeah, the play calling.
Jalen Rieger, we took him in the first round. That was a disaster.
Over Justin Jefferson.
No one talk about it. That video, that footage of the Vikings GM at home, dying laughing, screaming, "Go get Justin Jefferson! Make the call! Make the call!" Like freaking out. Like
Eagles, man.
That just shows you messed up when there's a viral video of a GM that picked after you. When there's a GM going viral after you've selected, you probably made the wrong pick. So, Philly right now are in a really bad spot. If you want to compare, like, who would you rather be? The 2-4 Philadelphia Eagles or the 0-5 Lions? I'd rather be the Lions.
Yeah.
My O-line, I can look forward to. It looks good in the future. Now, do the Eagles have nice pieces like a Miles Sanders, like a Devontae Smith? Sure. Is Jalen Hurts the answer? I don't think so. The defense is, average? They have Darius Slay. That's probably their only positive. But you have a good veteran corner who is on a losing team. I would trade Darius Slay for a 4th-round pick this season if I could. Maybe even a 3rd if somebody was willing to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe a Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that's absolutely hurting in the secondary.
True.
Eagles, you're not making the playoffs. Move on. Give away the veteran pieces that you don't need and actually go through a rebuild, because I promise you, you're probably 3-4 years away from being a respectable team in the NFL again. And that's if Jalen Hurts works out, which I don't think he does. So you still have to draft a quarterback.
And that's the problem. Like, Nick Sirianni's his play calling is questionable, and I say that because he's asking too much out of Jalen Hurts for what we think of him as.
Is Jalen Hurts Lamar Jackson?
He thinks he is.
No, honestly, is he Lamar Jackson?
To Nick Sirianni, yes. No, he's not.
In general,
no,
is he Lamar Jackson?
He's not.
Is he Michael Vick?
No.
Is he remotely close to the athlete? Let's say a Malik Willis could be.
No.
Okay.
No,
Why is he carrying the ball more than your running back?
Good question. I mention him like a Russell Wilson. Like
in the red zone, I agree with that.
Yes.
Dual threat, I love it in the red zone. I think it really puts defenses on their heels. But to run him on like 1st, 2nd down packages, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of what's going on in Philly right now. I think they're years behind even the Lions.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot, considering they're sitting at 0-5, bridge quarterback, lots of issues on defense. Like, if I'm a Philly fan, I'm not happy at all. Moving on, we got to talk about Michigan State coming up next, right, Joanna?
Yes, right after the break, we're going to preview Michigan State's game against Indiana. I cannot wait. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. But right now, Adam, tell us a little bit about our friends at MyBookie, what bets you can make.
Guys, there's no better place to bet other than MyBookie. Take the over at 5.5. You know the rule. I'm going to be preaching this all NHL season, probably up until maybe February. Regardless, bet from anywhere, anytime, using MyBookie. Sign up today with the code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. You put in $100, they'll give you $50. You put in $200, they'll give you $100. And if you put $25 on, the 5-leg parlay that I put together last night, well, that would have won you a cool $516. So you'd be a pretty happy camper this morning. And again, if you do have a gambling problem, please call the gambling problem hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back. You are tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's a Friday, meaning tomorrow is my favorite day of the week, Saturday, college football Saturday. Michigan State Spartans taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. My concern slightly is that they might be looking past them to next week when they then they have a bye, but then to Michigan. You guys, what is it going to take tomorrow for Michigan State to beat Indiana and focus on that game instead of looking ahead?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna take much. I think listen. Indiana's pretty good. I'm just kidding. They look at Michael Penix Jr. 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He almost has, he's doubled the interceptions as he does touchdowns. 53% completion percentage. I think this secondary is gonna, expose this man. And not to mention, their best player is arguably a tight end. He has the most receiving yards on the team. So, other than that, offense isn't that good. What are they? 2-3? They're sitting at 6th in the Big Ten. I think this is probably the game to lose for State, but Kenneth Walker definitely going to run all over these boys. It is what it is. Michigan State's levels above Indiana in terms of quarterback play, running back, all across the board, receivers, defensively. So it is. This goes back to our, 2 weeks ago when Michigan State played. We were essentially saying the same thing. It's their game to lose. They have a big opportunity right now to go undefeated, welcome in Michigan to their home stadium, and hopefully they can hand them an L. But regardless, I think this is definitely their game to lose. I don't see them losing this at all. I mean, you'd have to maybe if they throw it, but I doubt
Indiana has played against 3 ranked opponents this year.
Yeah.
They've lost by a total of 56 points. So you're looking at basically you lose by almost 20 points every single time you play a ranked opponent. They played Iowa, they lost 34-6. They played Cincinnati, 38-24. Says a lot about Cincinnati, but I'll leave that for later. Played Penn State, lost 24-0.
Offense, man.
So here we are. You're going against Michigan State, who have a more dynamic offense than Iowa and Penn State, but not maybe the defense. I mean, this has 42-17, 42-24 written all over it.
Yeah.
Michigan State are probably going to roll. If it's 4.5 points like they're saying in the chat, I think you got to take Michigan State with the points. Their game to lose. You can't afford to lose to Indiana if you're Mel Tucker. We talk about trap games. This is, it's an uncomfortable game. It's, a few weeks before the big game against Michigan. You don't want to walk in there 6-1. You lose all credibility. It really derails your season. Your odds of really winning the Big Ten become slim to none. So big game for Michigan State. They're going to have to show up. But I'm going to take State with the points. I don't see them having an issue. Indiana, no. I don't expect them to stop Kenneth Walker. I just don't see it happening. If I were to give you a stat line, I say he runs for over 140, 150 yards minimum.
Add to that Heisman case.
I don't see Indiana being able to stop this Michigan State offense, and I see the Michigan State defense at least being able to disrupt Indiana quite a bit. Now, it is a road game, but Michigan State have been a very good road team this year. Wins away to Miami. Win away to, I believe, Nebraska, correct?
Yes.
Win away to Rutgers. I mean, they can win on the road. They've proven it. I mean, I believe Northwestern as well, correct? Or was Northwestern was a home game, correct?
No, Northwestern was the opener in Chicago.
Yeah, so it was away.
Yeah.
So there you go. They're 4-0 on the road. They're not. This winning on the road isn't new to them. I gotta say, what to expect? I mean, expect a lot of points from Michigan State. At least that's what I believe. Prediction: I'm gonna go 38-21 Michigan State. I do think Indiana finds the end zone early, but Michigan State recovers and they just dominate the ball game. Now, I do want to move on to Coach Tucker. Do you believe he's a front runner? Is he in the running, or is he maybe someone that's not being mentioned enough for a Coach of the Year candidacy, not only in the Big Ten but across college football?
Yeah, if you look at number one definition of a coach, I mean, listen, this guy has gotten the most out of all his players. Acquired a lot of guys through the transfer portal. Kenneth Walker, he got Peyton Thorne. That's his guy. But nonetheless, you got to give a guy like this more attention. I mean, we talked about before the season multiple times about when should we expect this Michigan State program to make strides in the football season. And we said maybe next year. That would be a good starting point. Get more players into the program and see if they can make noise. But no, they start out now. They're undefeated. Like that is the definition of a coach who should be in that award conversation. Because, yes, there's the Steve Sarkisians of the world from Texas, but the man's undefeated with Kenneth Walker, a transfer that last year at Wake Forest had, 400, 500 yards, and now he's probably going to go for well over high thousands and be in the Heisman conversation. So he deserves absolutely to be in that conversation. I mean, you could talk about Jim Harbaugh being somewhere in there too, but look at the man's body of work. Like Mel Tucker, he beat Michigan last year during the COVID year, came out this year and has been on a tear, absolute tear. So in terms of getting the most out of his players, that's Mel Tucker. I think, yeah, absolutely. He deserves to be talked about a lot more.
Joanna, I know you're a Michigan State fan, so you're going to be biased on this, but I got to ask you the same question. Mel Tucker.
Yes.
I do believe Coach of the Year candidate. I think he needs to be considered. You're talking a guy that has led a team now up until this point to 6-0 in a second year of a second year of a rebuild.
Yeah.
I mean, you were expecting State to win 5-6 games and you would have celebrated. They're sitting here at 6-0 trying to win 8-9 games.
Yes, a very unexpected season, and that's why I think he should be in the conversation. I was looking yesterday, and they had the Texas coach, the Cincinnati coach, and, of course, Kirby Smart of Georgia, but no mention of Mel Tucker. He took a 2-5 team last year. Of course, it was a weird year, but to 6-0, no one ever expected that he should be in the conversation.
Texas can't be in the conversation. Yeah. Cincinnati can't be in the conversation. Georgia, yes, if they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
That's the only caveat. If they can beat Alabama this year, he deserves to win it and they go undefeated.
Yeah, Kirby Smart.
Outside of that, Jim Harbaugh and Mel Tucker need to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jim Harbaugh 2-4. Was he going to get fired? We weren't sure. He signs re-signs his deal, but really in a way where they can walk away from him at any point. It's very incentive-based. Mel Tucker, second year in a rebuild, does absolute work, home run work. in the transfer portal, brings in a Kenneth Walker. Wake Forest, I'm sure you'd love to have him now. So I think both coaches need to be in that conversation until they lose a big game. Now, they still have ranked teams to play against on their schedule. I think that's where you really learn more about these teams. But for Michigan State, just this 1 week, we can acknowledge if they beat Indiana, this is a team that should be not only a top 10 team, but a team that's going to be a problem in the Big Ten the rest of the season. I don't think that's a conversation anymore. The weapons they have, I don't think you can point to an Ohio State. I don't think you can point to a team in the country that has the 2 receivers they have on the perimeter and the running back. Go find me that team. Ohio State only has Olave. Who did Georgia have? Alabama?
Yeah.
Where? Show me the running back, 2 wide receiver combination in college football right now that Michigan State has. And Naylor had his breakout game the other day. We know what Jaden Reed is. Kenneth Walker speaks for himself, Heisman candidate himself. Mel Tucker, Coach of the Year candidate, in my opinion. Michigan State aren't going anywhere. I think they beat Indiana easily. And for the people disagreeing on Harbaugh, let me tell you guys. To come off a 2-4 season, lose to Mel Tucker in Michigan State, lose every possible game you could have lost, barely squeak by. Who'd they barely squeak by last year? I believe it was Rutgers in overtime.
Yeah.
Or
squeaked.
I believe it was Rutgers in overtime. I mean, like
a mouse.
Come on. They could have easily been 1-5. It was an awful year for the Michigan program. They overhauled their coaching staff. 10 coaches under the age of 45 hired into the program. Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator, who I think has done a phenomenal job. Well, there you go. There's your list. I know people in the chat are saying you could argue Wilson for OSU. Yes, but does Ohio State have the running back that Michigan State has? I don't think so. I don't. Ohio State may have 2 good wide receivers, yes, but where's the team in college football? And please tell me if there is one. I would love to know.
No, I mean, yeah, Ohio's got
Naylor,
2.
Reed, and then Kenneth Walker. That I don't know another team that has that. I really don't. And if there's a team, great. I'm sure they're doing very well this year. But Michigan State is very scary, and I think they play complementary football. And again, this Indiana game is theirs to lose.
Yeah. Definitely. And just to add this, Indiana's given up around 6 yards per carry, per clip. So Kenneth Walker will take advantage of that, definitely.
And he's due for one big run in the game. So if he averages 5-6 yards a carry, gets about 20 carries, you're looking at 140, 150 yards.
Couple tubbies. Yep.
I mean, that's the reality. I don't see Indiana's... Again, if you want to slow down Kenneth Walker and stack the box, good luck. Because Peyton Thorne has proven he can throw the deep ball. And he only needs a yard or 2 of separation from his receiver to throw it down. It's not asking for much from 2 athletes playing on the perimeter, honestly. State look good. State look better than I thought they would look. And let's be honest. Who would have thought after last season they were going to start 6-0, 7-0? I mean, even though...
Never.
You know, I got to throw this in. Even though I did predict State to start the season 5-0, there was no chance that you would expect them to be a top 10 team in football playing this well. So... Congrats to Jim Harbaugh. He had 5 years to get him to the 2-5 record. Tucker came into the program with that. Smith, I don't know if you're a Michigan or a State fan, but I don't think you look at the whole story. Jim Harbaugh had Michigan ranked 2nd and 3rd in the nation heading into the last game of the season against Ohio State twice. They weren't able to do that in the previous 14 years. In the 6 years prior to Jim Harbaugh, they won almost 10 or 12 games less, I believe. The win percentage, not even comparable. So be very careful here. Jim Harbaugh took a Michigan program that nobody took seriously the last 12, 14 years. Made them legitimate media contenders, right? His first few years, they were legit Big Ten contenders, but they just couldn't beat Ohio State. Barely lost a few times, and then they've been on a downward trend since. But you look at this year, they come into the season unranked, no expectations. Jim Harbaugh knows he's coaching for his job. He turns it around, hires a young staff, and here they are sitting pretty at what, 5-0, 6-0? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So if you want to disregard Jim Harbaugh, Michigan or Michigan State fans, be my guest. But good luck. Good luck trying to disregard a coach that has a better winning record than any head coach prior to him. He's comparable more so to Lloyd Carr. And what did Lloyd Carr accomplish? What did he accomplish? That was so big for you. Your last Big Ten championship was what, 2004? Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's the problem with Michigan. That's why they've lost, 20 of their last 24 games against Ohio State? Because Jim Harbaugh's coached all of them. This is the problem with Michigan fans, is they think they're better than they are. Harbaugh came in and actually backed that Michigan tradition model. He is the one that put you back on that pedestal where national media really respected Michigan. Before Jim Harbaugh, nobody was respecting Michigan in that capacity. You weren't getting number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6 ranked recruiting classes. You weren't doing that. So excuse me. If you want to throw shade at Jim Harbaugh for last year, be my guest. But are you going to throw shade at him for this year for winning on the road against Wisconsin and Nebraska? Things he clearly wasn't able to do in years prior, but he's able to do it this year, but we're going to disregard it, right? We pick and choose when to compliment and criticize coaches. I find it hilarious. Yes, Mel Tucker's done a phenomenal job. But to not give credit to Jim Harbaugh, I think, is a bit childish. We got to hit the break.
We're hoping for 7-0, both teams on October 30th when they face off against each other. But coming up after the break, our own Corey Woods had a very good question for offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn. We're going to find out what his comments were. But first, Jeff, what kind of pizza are we going to order while we're watching football tomorrow?
Oh, listen, I know good pizza for tomorrow. I know good pizza for Sunday when the Lions take on the Bengals, and it's Papa Romano's, because Papa Romano's coming out with this new pizza. It's called the Meatza Pizza. The toppings include pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, bacon, and topped with your favorite blend of fresh cheeses. Now, let me tell you this. I'm Italian. I love pizza. Papa Romano's is absolutely delicious, especially when you're watching games like Sunday. You're watching your Lions game like you guys do every Sunday. Go now, order online at paparomanos.com. Get a large Meatza Pizza for only $16.99.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're going to flip gears from college football to NFL football, the Lions specifically. Our own Corey Woods was out and asked offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn of the Lions a very good question about Jared Goff, and his comments were kind of surprising. Were they throwing him under the bus? Guys, what do you think? Was it throwing him under the bus?
Well, a little bit, and he knows. Listen, in Jared Goff's last 36 regular season appearances, he's committed 45 turnovers.
That's it? I could have sworn it was way more. That's impressive.
Look at this is the conversations that Lions fans have. I mean, they're surprised, genuinely surprised. And listen, Anthony Lynn, you're only as good. Really, your offensive coordinator is only as good as really your quarterback. Sometimes, I mean, yes, you can manage your quarterback sometimes, but overall, if your quarterback's fumbling the ball in the red zone like Jared Goff's done, over the course of the last couple games, it hurts, your offense. And they've only been scoring. I don't think they've cleared 17 points since week 1 against San Francisco. So Jared Goff's a turnover machine. Obviously, we know the statistics. He's second behind Jameis Winston in total turnover since 2016. He's the absolute worst under pressure. He's I don't know if fragile is the right word in the pocket, but he's overwhelmed with emotions. I mean, if this offensive line's not giving him 6 seconds to throw the ball, he's at his absolute worst. I mean, you saw it against Minnesota. He had that really big fumble, and I think it was the first or second quarter, and that's what Anthony Lynn was alluding to. Like, this stuff essentially it ruins it. I mean, he said in the last 4 red zone trips, they didn't even get a touchdown. So that's stuff they have to work on. He acknowledges that, but it starts with the quarterback. So at the same time, you can't keep making excuses for Jared Goff. Anthony Lynn said it was on him. He took the blame, obviously, like the man he is. But we have the video right here. We're going to play it for you, so you can check it out for yourself.
Just to piggyback off of that, he's had some issues getting in the end zone over the past couple of weeks in the first half. Has there been any discussion about maybe changing up a few things so he can start out hotter?
Yeah, not turning the ball over. I mean, we could start right there. I mean, we've had 4 turnovers in the last couple of weeks in scoring territory. So, when we improve in that area, and that can start with me, the play selections I call when I get in those areas. But it also starts with our protection and our quarterback decision making. So we can all get better in that area, and we plan on doing that. But having 4 turnovers in the scoring territory, that's been tough, not coming away with points in those situations.
Okay. Guys, I mean, that was pretty obvious what he was talking about. Let's be honest here, all right?
Yeah.
So let's not gloss over it. Let's not make a bigger deal of it, though, than it is. It's just the reality. Goff is making a ton of turnovers. It's hard to win football games when you're giving free possessions to the opposing team. Now, the Lions' problem is not really Jared Goff. It's the O-line. I don't even know how to say your name, but your last name is Ferber. You are either on drugs or Jared Goff pays you to sit in this chat and compliment him. Because last I checked, Jared Goff, on average, has the 4th most time to throw of all the quarterbacks in the NFL when he's in the pocket. He has the time. He, A, doesn't see them, or B, he sees them, but they're not open enough. And what I mean by that is if you actually watch Jared Goff and you break down his film, you know what you'll notice? A small trend is he's not making the throws where the wide receivers are half a yard, maybe even a yard open. No. He's only comfortable making the throws when the wide receivers are 2, 3, 4 yards open. And that is very problematic because, guys, in the NFL, open is not always open. And as a quarterback, your job is to throw your receivers open. So, no, Jared Goff is the problem. His small hands are a problem. Is it fair to evaluate him and criticize him because he plays on one of the worst teams in the NFL? No, I think it's a bit harsh, but that's his reality. He hasn't shown that he's making everybody around him better. He's Mr. Checkdown King.
Yeah.
Mr. Small Hands.
For $30 million.
And Mr. Turnover Prone. I mean, that's what he is. What'd you say? 34 starts? 45, 46
36,
turnovers?
yeah. 36 starts.
36 starts, 45
turnovers.
Guys, that's over a turnover a game. That's like Mark Sanchez level, Joey Harrington level. This is not a game.
Yeah.
This is a total bridge quarterback who can't see open receivers, is afraid to make the throws. Why? Let's be honest, guys. He was treated really bad in his final months in Los Angeles. The eye rolls by Sean McVay on the sideline during the games, the frustration, the throwing the playbook on the floor, getting frustrated, screaming in his ear, giving up on him, giving him the shoulder shrug. I mean, that's mentally exhausting for any player, especially the quarterback. So when you have a head coach that doesn't believe in you, you're traded to one of the worst teams in the NFL. Your employer, or I should say former employer, gave up 2 first-round picks to get rid of you. You're not feeling great about yourself. Now, Jared Goff off the field, stand-up guy. His charitable work, I don't think there's a better person in Detroit right now than Jared Goff. Unbelievable, great human. Parents, stand-up people, raised a great kid. Classy people. But Jared Goff on the field right now lacks confidence, and he's not the Jared Goff we saw his first 3 years in the league. This guy was on the cusp, if not already, an elite quarterback 3 years in.
He's throwing 30 touchdowns his 4th year. The guy was
unbelievable. Like, he was actually elite. And then I don't recall ever seeing this where a guy came in, was elite, and then his career was hindered or fell off a cliff.
Being with a good coach.
Injuries.
Being with Sean McVay.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. Now, is Sean McVay too demanding? I don't know. But you know what? Demanding coaches, in my opinion, are the best kind of coaches.
Yeah.
Because they're demanding you to get even better.
Yep.
So, Jared Goff, I'm not sure what's up with you, buddy. But you got to start taking more chances. And if you throw interceptions, so be it. But you got to stop not making the throws. You got to start trying to make them. You're not going to get a second contract as a starter somewhere else in the league if you're not throwing receivers open. If you're relying solely on these young wide receivers to be open, you're in trouble. And if that's the case, Anthony Lynn, you got to run the ball more. But again, I mean, what to make of Anthony Lynn's comments is the truth. It's about as truthful as someone can get.
Yeah, and it's not just Anthony Lynn. Dan Campbell had his interview after that, and he's like, listen, Jared Goff, he didn't specifically, label Jared Goff as the problem, but he did say, he's like, it is frustrating when a lot of the decisions of your plays come back to your quarterback. And he said there was the time where Jared Goff fumbled in the red zone against the Minnesota Vikings, and he said the hitch was open. T.J. Hockenson was open. He said, just throw the hitch, and there's never a fumble. So sometimes Jared, it goes back to the point. Under pressure, Jared Goff said is worse because it's almost like he's feeling the pressure before there's even pressure. Like he's not making the easy reads. He's holding on to the football, and he's fumbled 6 times thus far this season.
People point out his interceptions. He only has 3, Adam, through 5 games. Jared Goff is doing just
Fumbles
fine.
are still
Well, you know why he
turnovers.
only has 3? Because he's afraid to throw the football. And look, I knocked Aaron Rodgers for this years and years ago. He would just throw the ball away when he was frustrated with the play, or whatever it may be. He was being dramatic, but under Matt LaFleur, he's been less and less of that. Now he's throwing guys open. He's taking those chances. Of course, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers here, but the point is, as a quarterback, you need to have the confidence in your coaching staff and yourself to go out there and feel comfortable knowing that, hey, I'm going to try to make this throw. And if it's intercepted, so be it. But I'm really trying to get us back into this football game. Jared Goff's not doing that. He only has 3 interceptions. Great. How many fumbles he has? 6, 7?
Yeah, 6.
So double the amount of fumbles that he has interceptions. Why? Because he's keeping the ball for way too long. And when pass protection does eventually break down, he fumbles it because he can't hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stop making turnovers. You got to run the ball more. Get it out of his hands if you don't want to commit turnovers. Because clearly this is a turnover-prone guy. In 5 games, he's averaging well over 1.6, 1.7 turnovers a game. Keep that in mind.
That's ridiculous.
That's awful. So, Jeff, I mean, your takeaways completely from Anthony Lynn's comments. I mean, was it a shot at him or just kind of the hard truth?
I think, well, we understand it. Obviously, Jared Goff's not Anthony Lynn's guy. Like, he's just, hey, this is my quarterback. I'm working with him. And I think the frustration's getting there. I mean, we're, 5-6 games in, and he's noticing, okay, game 1, they make a really good rally late in the game. Okay, maybe the offense has got something clicking. They're perfect in the red zone. Second game, they score, 17 at the half? Or no, that was verse. Yeah, they come out, look flat, and they score. And then the next game, they only score 17 against Baltimore, and then they have 17 against the Green Bay Packers. And now, against the Minnesota Vikings, you score 17. So, that stuff, I feel like it's getting Anthony Lynn, definitely. I mean, what happens when we're 10 games in the season and Jared Goff's got 10, 11?
Well, he's coming under heat now, right? And, people are saying, well, the players are open. Goff's not making the throws. I mean, Anthony Lynn now is facing, justified criticism. Hey, the defense that is decimated by injuries is keeping you in these ball games. And your offense is moving the ball, but not getting any points. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So now he's being held accountable. So, again.
Like, even against the Bears, they just look flat every game. And it's not, I don't think Anthony Lynn, we can question his play calling a little bit.
When you punt more than you score, there's a problem.
Yeah, there is.
So, Joanna, I got to ask you, fair or foul, Anthony Lynn's comments on Jared Goff?
It's fair because he's saying exactly what's happening. I found it a little surprising because most coaches keep it a little bit more to the chest and don't say those things out loud even though they're thinking them.
Yeah.
But it was necessary. He's frustrated, like you said, Jeff. He's 100% frustrated, and it came out because the question was asked. And, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to happen this weekend, but something has to change.
Yeah, Jared Goff, it's hard because you come in, your first-year offensive coordinator, and Jared's, losing your games. It's hard to be, rally with him and say, let's go, Jared, let's prepare next week. The guy, you haven't cleared 17 points. He's been disappointing for Anthony Lynn. So it is frustration, man. And hopefully Anthony Lynn, I mean, we saw what he did with Justin Herbert. The guy can work with a quarterback. I think Jared Goff's just a little different. I mean, he's a little more... Well, obviously turnover prone, but he makes some bonehead decisions sometimes. And I think it gets to any coach. If Dan Campbell's getting to Dan Campbell, it's getting to Anthony Lynn. I'm sure it's even getting to Aaron Glenn because he's putting his defense in tough positions. So, listen, like Adam said, it's nothing personal against Jared Goff. I mean, the guy, the charitable work he does is awesome. I mean, you see all the food he's donating, all the clothes and all that stuff, all to the children of Detroit. So it's nothing off the field. It's just strictly on the field. His play for getting paid $30 to $35 million. I mean, that's quarterback money where you should be playing extremely well. I mean, that's top tier quarterback money. I mean, that's Dak Prescott near numbers. So Jared Goff, it is what it is. But
I think Adam hit it on the head when he said he lost his confidence. He doesn't have any confidence. And, you can tell what was it? He's throwing 6 yards It's averages 6 yards or something like
it was
that.
Like 5-6 yards.
For that caliber quarterback, you got to expect more than 6 yards on average. So I think he did lose his confidence, and I think Coach Lynn was just, hey, I'm frustrated. Something's got to change. We can't have these turnovers in scoring position. We can't have 4 turnovers in one game in scoring position. And he let his feelings know. And so we're going to see what happens this week. It's funny, we were talking about ticket prices for college games, and I'm looking on here, and tickets for Lions Bengals, you can find them for $30. Whereas if you're going to a college game, it's like $130.
You know what? This is ridiculous. But you know what? At the same time, it's funny because before the season, the tickets were like ridiculously expensive. Now they're 0-5. You know what I mean? You start going. You know, some of you guys can start going to these games like me. So that's great. I'll probably be down there, actually.
I will as well be down there, yes. And so coming up next, we are going to be talking about the preview of the Lions and the Bengals Sunday at Ford Field. We're going to see what we think in regard to who's going to take that game right after the break.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Papa Romano's has a pizza that is pleased to meet you. The Mizza Pizza is a sizzling deal and fully loaded with pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, and bacon. Get a large Mizza Pizza for $16.99 at paparomanos.com.
Welcome back on this Friday. You are tuned in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're keeping it with the Lions, previewing their game at Ford Field on Sunday against the Bengals. I'm hoping for a win. I don't see a win. Jeff, what do you think for Sunday?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. I mean, this is a team in the Bengals who offensively they're clicking. I mean, Joey Burrow, say what you want. I mean, yeah, he'll turn the ball over every once in a while, but the guy can air it out, and you saw what he did when they played Aaron Rodgers. I mean, yeah, a lot of kickers missed a lot of field goals that game. It was absolutely atrocious, but nonetheless, he still kept them in that ball game. And Jamar Chase, if you look at his numbers against single coverage, it's ridiculous. I know that Aaron Glenn is going to write on a big sheet of paper, no single coverage, because your secondary can barely handle pretty good wide receivers. Now they're going up against a guy in Jamar Chase who's absolutely obliterating the opposing corner. So that's what they're really going to have to watch out for. Jamar Chase, that Joe Burrow connection, they're going to be trying to air it out downfield. But more importantly, you got Joe Mixon, who's a little banged up. I mean, it is at home, so that is what the Lions are getting from them. I mean, they went to Minnesota last week and had a very heartbreaking loss. So now they get to go back home against the Cincinnati Bengals team. But here's the question, though, and Adam, we love talking about this stuff. Can the Bengals afford to lose in this division where, Pittsburgh looks bad, the Ravens are trying to win games, you got the Browns winning games. So I don't think they can afford to lose this game, and I think they're going to come out very motivated. I think they're going to most likely beat the Lions. I just have a feeling, I'm a Lions fan, they're going to come out, they're going to compete. But at the end of the day, the Bengals are just better as a team. I mean, they just signed Trey Flowers. They're trying to win games right now, and that's where they are as a franchise. So, I think it's going to be a good game, similar to the Minnesota game. I think it's going to be more high scoring than that. Maybe both teams end up in the 20s. I'll give my final prediction at the end of the show. But it's going to be interesting. The big question is, what does this secondary do, and what does Aaron Glenn do game planning for Jamar Chase? That's
Justin Jefferson went for 100 yards in the first half.
I know.
The Minnesota Vikings decided to move away from him in the second half. Why? I don't know, but they kept the Lions in the game. But the Lions have one thing going for them right now that I think is very, very tricky for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a home game. Last time Lions fans were in the stadium, the awful loss to the Ravens. Fans are coming out. They're going to be loud, energetic. If you're Cincinnati, you got to come out hot, and you got to just shut up the building if you want to try and win this football game. Because if you give the slightest possible hope for this football team, they're going to make you work for a W, and they could beat you. they could very well beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, they could.
Now let's start with the Bengals situation. They're 3-2 in the division, tied for second. Seattle plays Pittsburgh, but Seattle again down Russell Wilson, so you're not sure how that's going to play out. Pittsburgh could realistically win that football game. The Browns play the Cardinals. I expect the Browns to win on Sunday. We'll get to that later. Baltimore, they play who Baltimore play? I want to say Tennessee. No, not Tennessee. They
Chargers,
play
I think.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
That's a tough game.
Good game.
So if you're Cincinnati, you know, everybody in your division is playing a pretty good team. And you're playing the Lions, who we all agree aren't one of the better teams in the NFL. And if you're Zach Taylor, this loss probably gets you fired long term.
Yeah.
Because you can't recover from 3-3 losing to the Lions. You losing to, let's say, you know, no shame in losing to the Ravens. No shame in losing to the Packers. Losing to the Lions? The Lions? A team that's 0-5, decimated by injuries in their secondary. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Joe Burrow. And the Lions don't really have a pass rush. And you're going to lose to the Lions? All the pressure in the world is on the Bengals to walk in a Ford Field. But what they do have going for them, I do got to say, it is in a dome. Weather will not play a factor. Conditions will be very ideal. They'll be able to adhere to the play calling. I mean, Cincinnati, again, Joe Burrow is going to have a 3-touchdown game if they want to have a chance at winning. I really think Detroit's going to give them problems. Again, home game. I mean, we're going to be outside at the Tin Roof pre-gaming that show and tailgating, but I got to say, like, it's a tricky game for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Talk about narrative all the time here. Narrative is a big part in the NFL season. And when the narrative for you is, if you lose to the Detroit Lions, you fall to 3-3, and by the end of Sunday, you very well could be 4th in the division instead of 2nd, that is not a good look. You can't fall to 3-3 if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. You can't afford to. Your upcoming schedule is away to Baltimore, away to New York against the Jets, home to Cleveland, no, not an easy game, away to Vegas. God knows how that situation is going to unfold, but that should be a winnable game for them. And then home to the Steelers, home to the Chargers, home to the Niners. Good luck having a winning record if you're losing to the Lions this Sunday.
Yeah.
And everyone will be looking at Zach Taylor. Is he just one of those young guys that's better off as a coordinator, or can he be a head coach? And if you want to be a head coach in this league, Zach Taylor, you go out and you beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday. You don't allow them to beat you. If you beat yourselves and the Lions beat you on Sunday, you won't be a head coach in the league for long. You're just like a Jim Caldwell. You're just like all these other guys that they can win some games, but you're never going to take them seriously. And if you lose to the Lions on Sunday, Cincinnati, no one will ever take you seriously. It doesn't matter who you beat this year. You can't afford to fall to 3-3 against the Detroit Lions. All the pressure is on Cincinnati. Taylor Decker back this weekend for the Lions. I believe Penei Sewell will move to right tackle, so we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully they get the run game going more. Joe Mixon's health up in the air at this point, really questionable, but likely to play.
Yeah, likely, yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. But Joanna, I do have to ask you. Cincinnati, a lot of pressure on them. It's a road game. They can't fall to 3-3. What do they need to do to win this football game?
I think, like you said, the one thing the Lions have is the home game, and they do not want to go 0-6. As a Lions fan, I want them to win. As a sports fan, I don't think they have it in them to win. I think Jared Goff isn't getting any better this season so far. He's not showing any signs of improvement. I think Cincinnati's probably going to win this game, but you're right. All the pressure is on them. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I believe it's going to be a super close game. Hopefully not one that ends in a field goal in the last second, like the last home game. But I think all the pressure is on Cincinnati, but I do think they're going to come out with a win.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll end up winning the game. Now, like Adam said, there's always a chance, but especially at home, it's a bigger chance. You know, we're not at Minnesota playing that hard, but now you're again, home, you have a chance.
But yeah, well, what do the Lions do? First half, are they going to get shut out again? Anthony Lynn, are you just going to come out flat? If you put up 3 to 6 points, maybe even only 7, in the first half, you very well could be down 17 or 20. Who's guarding Jamar Chase? Are you going to shadow him with the safety the whole game? Great. So Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins are probably going to go off on you. Oh, who's covering the tight ends that have looked really dynamic over the last few weeks? This is a tough game.
Yeah.
Again, the only thing the Lions have is that they're going to be at home. The fan base is going to be going nuts early on. If Cincinnati can come out and shut the crowd up, I mean, it'll be another day in the office for Cincinnati. Again, they have to win this football game. You cannot afford to lose it. Fish, I haven't asked you this in a while, and I want to bring it up with you. The 10 and 7 limo has not only fell off a cliff, you drove it off the interstate highway. You are now in a ditch. It's on fire, and everybody is evacuating. Fish, are you still inside of the limo?
Yeah, maybe Art did, but I'm still in it. Well and alive.
They just got to lose only 2 games, Fish.
You're committed,
and they win out.
I'm committed.
I can't move you off this?
Nope, till they get loss number 8, then you can move me off it. But last time I checked, they're still 0-5. So that's not 0-8.
0-5.
So I'm assuming you have them winning this football game.
Of course. Why would I not?
Have you had them winning every football game?
Look at Fish the way he smiles at you. He knows he's BSing too. I love that.
I've had them winning a few. I had them beating the Packers, which they should have won that game. I had them beating the Ravens, but they also should have won that game. They made it great. They wowed you against the 49ers. They could have won that game too.
Fish, you don't win the Super Bowl off should-haves. All right, you lost. We lost a lot of those. All right.
I know we lost a lot of them. I see 0-5.
An evil human being, but Fish, I gotta say, bud.
I see 0-5.
Listen, Fish. If I pay you to jump off the limo, would you do it? What if I take you golfing?
What if he like popped the tires on the limo while you're driving it? Like, what if he sabotages
it's no longer active. It's not driving anymore. It's off the highway. It crashed. It's in a ditch. It's currently on fire, and it's 2 games away from exploding. So, Fish, I want to save your life here.
Okay.
Can you get off of it? Just get out of the limo.
Yeah, I'll definitely consider that. I'll think about that.
I love it. I'll definitely. I'll talk to my people.
I think the Lions have a chance to win this game.
I don't want to have a guilty conscience knowing that you died because you wouldn't get out of the limo and listen to me. I could have saved you. I don't want to have to say that.
You still can't save me.
No, I can't. If you don't get out before the 7th game,
okay,
you're dead.
I mean, realistically, just look at me. You could easily just pull me out. It's not that hard.
Love you, Fish.
You just have to you don't even have to grab my hand, grip it. You just have to.
Fish, Detroit Dabber said it perfectly. Fish is swimming in a lake of hopium. You're just swimming, you're bathing in this big lake of hope.
Hopium, cocaine, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter.
I mean, you don't really know.
I liked somebody's comment in the chat though. Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift should get a total of 40 touches. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
You got to run the ball. Yeah. Swift at least 14, 15 carries, 10 to 12 for Jamal Williams, and a few touches out of the backfield catching the ball. I mean, you want to get them near the 40 mark. I think that's a good number. I really do. I want to see their odds of winning a football game when they really commit to running the football with a good, dynamic, 2-headed backfield. So we got to head to break. When we get back, we are going to go around the NFL and preview all the major games that are happening this Sunday. Right, Joanna?
Yes, we are. Right after the break, we'll get into some more NFL football. But right now, Jeff, tell us about our friends at Guardian Alarm.
Well, we can't convince Fish that the Lions' defense is very, very bad. But you know what I can convince you is how good Guardian Alarm is, because they get it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel very secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. If you want to contact them, call this number 800-STAY-OUT today. That is 800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Good morning and happy Friday. You are tuned in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. I'm Joanna. I'm filling in for Kennedy. She will be back in action next week. She's recovering. You can also hear us on the Roar 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, as well as 94.7 HD2. We're sticking with the NFL. We're going to go around the league with some games and give our predictions of who's going to win and what to watch. You know what? Let's start off with the Packers and the Bears coming up this Sunday. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a good NFC North matchup. I think it's in Soldier Field, or at Soldier Field, rather. Listen, I think Justin Fields has been doing a great job so far. Matt Nagy essentially gave up play calling abilities. Now they're saying, Justin Fields, you don't have to, unlike Nick Sirianni, you don't have to win the game for us. Just do your job. We have a guys who can run the ball. Obviously, Damian Williams, he's hurt, and David Montgomery's hurt. But nonetheless, they just have Khalil Herbert now. But before then, they were saying, we're going to commit to the run. Our defense is going to help you win this game. It doesn't have to be just you. But I think that all ends when they welcome in Aaron Rodgers to Soldier Field. I think Aaron Rodgers comes in, absolutely lights up the Chicago Bears. Maybe the defense keeps them limited somewhat, but I think Justin Fields is going to get – I mean, this is a big game, NFC North game Sunday. I got Aaron Rodgers winning this game pretty decisively. I would say 28-14. The Packers pull out a win. I'm pretty confident in that.
28-14.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so 2-touchdown game. I have the Packers covering, just to get that out of the way. I think the Packers win this game handily. I do think the Bears, though, cause problems early on for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I think they struggle early on. Midway into the second quarter, they really pick it up, and then in the second half, they really pull away. I don't think Chicago has the offense to hang with the Green Bay Packers. You're not going to limit Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to have a game like he did against the Saints. I just don't see that happening. Again, you talk about narrative and stories. Chicago, I mean, 3-2. Losing to the Packers, no shame. Falling to 3-3,
yeah.
Hopeful for the playoffs still. Again, I don't see that dynamic working for Chicago. I don't see how they're going to limit Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones is going to be a problem. I understand he's been inconsistent this year, but you know what? He just has his games. And this very well could be one of his games, considering Devontae Adams is coming off a 200-yard performance, and I'm sure the Chicago Bears are going to key in on him. And if that's the case, well, my friends, it's going to be a long day for that Chicago run defense. I do want to touch on the Bengals. Please understand my comments on Zach Taylor. Yes, he could get fired long-term. Why? Because losing a game on the road, instead of being 4-2, you walk away 3-3 and giving the Lions their first win of the season. That is an extremely bad loss. You lose a lot of credibility in the locker room, and those are the games you can't afford to lose. Belichick doesn't lose to rookies. The great coaches don't lose those games. McVay doesn't give up halftime leads. You got to develop yourself, and if you're Zach Taylor, you look good this year. You really do. But you got to do more. Losing to the Lions, I think, is a big setback. But back to the Packers. Packers-Bears, I have the Packers winning as well, Jeff. I think that's one of the easier games to call for the weekend. Joanna, what's next?
We are going to head over to the Chargers and the Ravens. Good game.
Oh, this is my favorite game of the whole week. I love it. I can't wait. I mean, there's some good games this weekend, but I am so excited for the Chargers and Ravens because two guys that are really outside of that MVP conversation, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, they're in there, but more so on the back end. And this game could elevate either one. I mean, if Justin Herbert comes out and has a performance, he doesn't have to have a shootout like he did against Cleveland, but if he comes out and looks absolutely fantastic, throws for 3-4 touchdowns against this Baltimore defense, or even 2, and it just looks good, man, he's going to move up the ranks. Because Baltimore, I mean, they just, obviously you saw the comeback against the Colts. With all the injuries they've suffered, Lamar Jackson, if he comes in here and gets a win, I mean, it is in Baltimore, over Los Angeles, I mean, you better start taking the Ravens seriously. I mean, we saw the performance Lamar Jackson put on last week. We'll see how that carries over. But no doubt, I cannot wait for this game Sunday. It's my favorite game of the weekend. Obviously, you got the Bengals and the Lions and the Cardinals and the Browns. There's some other good ones, like the Cardinals and the Browns. We'll get to that one. That's going to be real interesting. But in terms of this matchup, it's fantasy football heaven right here. I mean, you get two guys who are going to score points. So I can't wait. It's going to be great.
All right, big game for the Chargers, right? Contenders, pretenders. They have some signature wins this year. You got to give them credit. Browns, Chiefs, big wins. The Ravens are tricky. Lamar Jackson, probably the best game of his career last Monday against, I believe, the Colts.
Yeah,
correct?
the Colts. Yep. Best.
So big win. Now you're home. This is such a tough game for me to call. It really is. From a betting standpoint, I'm probably looking at the over-under. I want to avoid picking a winner. I want to avoid taking a team with the points. But I got to say, I don't know how Baltimore really is going to stop this Los Angeles Chargers offense.
Yep.
I think they're going to go into the game keying on Mike Williams. And because they do that, I think Keenan Allen shows out probably 9 catches, 113 yards, and I think Austin Eckler will be a problem. And look, I mean, this is going to be a close game. I don't see either team blown away with it, but you're going to need the Lamar Jackson on Monday night to show up again.
Who's Marlon Humphreys taking? Keenan Allen or Mike Williams? Who would you put him on?
If I had to take one guy away?
Yeah. Because we saw what they looked like when Mike Williams
I'm taking Keenan Allen away.
Okay.
And all I'm doing is I'm keeping one high safety to shadow Mike Williams every time. Like, this isn't rocket science. Every time you see Mike Williams
He's just
run past the
blowing
corner,
past everyone,
you
I know.
follow him and you run with him. And I don't, like, seriously, this should not, look, I'm not saying you have to do it on every play. You can't. I mean, they'll pick up on it and they'll adjust. But more times than not, you need somebody shadowing Mike Williams down the field. You don't want to leave him in single coverage or even, like last week, complete busted coverage like the Browns were. I mean, you want to avoid these situations, and I think your best bet is to key on Mike Williams. Me personally, I'm going to focus on Keenan Allen. He's the chain mover. He's the guy I don't want touching the ball on third down. So again, game planning on third downs, I'm going to look to limit Keenan Allen. First and second down, I'm taking away the deep ball option from Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So that would be my game plan heading in against Los Angeles if I'm the Baltimore Ravens. Having said that, are we going to get the same Lamar Jackson we saw last week?
True.
And if you get that, I think you can win this game, and I think you could probably win it by more than a touchdown.
Who you got winning?
Tough game. I'm going to stick with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I think they're the home team.
Yeah.
A tricky road game for the Chargers. I'm very high on the Chargers. But again, no shame in losing to one of the better teams in the NFL. I have the Ravens as a top 5 team in the NFL. Guys, like, there are no pushovers. Lamar Jackson is a problem. The defense is a bend-don't-break kind of team. They played great in the second half against Indianapolis. Whew. We'll have to wait and see. But you know what? No. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I have a crush on Herbert and Staley. I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
I'm taking them to cover.
I got you.
And I'm taking the Chargers to win. I'm sorry, but I can't be objective here. I have to be biased. I have a man crush on Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert. I'm riding with them this weekend. On to the next game.
Listen, and I was going to say the Chargers because I just believe Justin Herbert. They match up, quarterback to quarterback. Lamar Jackson had a performance last week that I don't know if he can duplicate or even have. Justin Herbert. We've seen the performances he's had through 6 weeks, 5 weeks. It's been absolutely tremendous. So I got confidence that Justin Herbert's going to come out, play a good game. This Joey Bosa and these boys might frustrate Lamar a little bit. They got a great secondary, but vice versa, it's going to be great. I picked the Chargers to win. I would say 27-20. I think it'll be a pretty close game. I think they pull it off, get a win away at Baltimore.
I definitely like when a man can admit that he has a man crush on someone else. So props to you.
I can't help it. I mean, have you seen what Justin Herbert and Brandon Staley look like? Does anybody blame me? Honestly.
I'm with you. All right, next game. Can the Cardinals remain undefeated at the Browns?
Well, it's certainly a test. I don't know. I mean, listen, you travel to Cleveland and get a win. I mean, listen, the Cardinals, it's impressive. I mean, they're 3-2, the Browns, but on paper, still one of the best teams in football. We'll take away the quarterback position, but besides that, one of the best teams in football. And this is a real test to see what the Cardinals are made of. I mean, you saw last week that 17-10, they win against Trey Lance and the 49ers. Wasn't the best performance offensively. I think they kind of let Trey Lance run a little wild there, but I think they come out this week, and I think they get it done. I think the Arizona Cardinals, they stay undefeated. They beat the Browns. Even though the Browns can't afford to lose, they cannot. They're 3-2. Kevin Stefanski knows how big of a game this is. You're at home. You're welcoming in 5-0 Arizona, who's looked a little shaky over the last couple weeks. The Browns could very well win this game, and it honestly could go either way. But if we're talking about man crushes, I don't know why, but I've had a man crush, I guess you could say, on the Cardinals because I've always had them high on my power rankings. And even though I've always said, though, Kyler Murray, that concerns me a little bit. How long does he stay playing at a high level? Because we saw last week showed flashes of the Kyler Murray.
Back-to-back weeks now.
Yes, over the last couple weeks. So that worries me a lot. But other than that, on paper, screw it. Go with the Cardinals. They're winning that game. I don't know why, but I'm feeling it.
I'm a big Baker Mayfield cynic. I crush him every opportunity I get. But Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns walk away on Sunday, giving the Arizona Cardinals their first loss. I think this is not the 60, 70-point game that people are going to expect. I'd say probably anywhere between 52 and 56 points total scored. I'm going to go 28-27 Cleveland. I believe they win on a late score. I think a missed extra point, something very simple, costs the Cardinals. I think it's a super close game. But I'm going to go with the Browns. A tough loss to the Chargers. That's a tough pill to swallow. San Francisco kind of showed you the model on how to fluster and limit Kyler Murray. Send your edge rushers and don't let him get outside of the pocket, because let's all remember, Kyler Murray is short. So seeing over all those offensive linemen is difficult. And the defensive line on the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, etc., those guys are able to do that. And I think the Cleveland Browns are going to pull a script from the San Francisco 49ers playbook last week. I think they're going to limit Kyler Murray to an extent. I think they barely walk away from this game. 28-27 Cleveland. I believe they hand the Arizona Cardinals their first loss of the season. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt have a day. I don't think there's a better combo in the NFL right now.
They're the best combo in the NFL. And more importantly, I'll add to this, my final score, I'll go 23-20 Cardinals. I think Prater kicks the the game-winning field goal, just because it would be ironic, and we could talk about it. But yeah, that's my prediction for that game.
All right, next game we go to Matthew Stafford and the Rams at the 1-4 Giants.
Oh, yeah. This is a good bounce back for Matthew Stafford. He's going to absolutely... Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because you shouldn't sleep on the secondary of the New York Giants. They got dogs over there. Bradbury. I mean, they got multiple guys who can play ball. So I think Matthew Stafford, you're obviously going to get a win. I mean, I don't care how you pick it. We'll say 34-14. You know, I think it's going to be a blowout. Mike Glennon starting at quarterback. You're going to have, Devontae Booker in at running back. This is a team... I mean, it looks like the G League of the NBA for NFL teams. I mean, this is a very poor team. I almost said the other word, but it's very disappointing. So without Saquon, without Daniel Jones, I don't see it happening. I don't like Jason Garrett. I don't know why. I don't like his play calling. I don't like how you run, pass on third down, punt every single drive. I hate it absolutely. So I think the Rams get it done convincingly. We'll go 34-14. Or 34-10. It's going to be bad.
Okay, I like it. Very similar to my prediction. I have the Rams winning 45.
Okay.
45-24. A complete blowout. I think the Giants score a few touchdowns late. Mike Glennon gets some garbage points. To answer Ryan Reaction's question in the chat, Adam, as a head coach, who would you rather start, Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff? That is very tricky. They're very similar quarterbacks, but I've got to say, Baker Mayfield, although he can't win you football games, like
he can throw downfield at least.
He doesn't turn the ball over as much as Jared Goff does. So I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. I am going to go with him. I would start Baker over Jared Goff any day of the week. Back to the Rams-Giants game. Good luck stopping this offense. I don't see how the Giants come up with a game plan that keeps them in this game. They look better than what they really were against the Cowboys, some late points. But I expect something very similar. 45-24, my final score prediction for the Giants-Rams game. What's the last one we got on the slate?
Let's round it out with the Cowboys at the Patriots.
Well, number one, I think Mac Jones comes out. And, you know, I like Mac Jones because he hasn't been a guy like the other quarterbacks in this class that are turnover prone. I mean, Mac Jones has a couple interceptions, but he doesn't lead them in interceptions. So you have that going for you. But other than that, the Cowboys, I think they'll come out, play a tough Patriots defense. Probably the toughest secondary they've faced thus far. And I think Dak Prescott, as good as he's been playing, if they stick to what they've been doing and splitting carries between, they get Pollard 11 to 15 carries, they get Zeke his 15 to 20 carries, and they allow Dak Prescott to take under 30 attempts, they're going to absolutely they're going to finish off these Patriots. I think they'll win. I'll say, this offense for New England's been so stagnant. Even with Tom Brady, it's always been this way. And I don't know. I don't have confidence in Mac Jones going out and having a shootout or even competing with this Cowboys offense. They're too electric. I think the Cowboys get it done. I'll say 31-20. The Cowboys. I think they get it done.
Patty, I'm going to kill you, man. I really like you. I met you in person. You're a great guy. Love you, man. I really do, but it's not a very good question. Jared Goff over Baker. Baker actually has weapons. Even if I had the Cleveland Browns team and I was the head coach and you told me I'd get to play Jared Goff or Baker, I'm still taking Baker. This isn't about who they're surrounded by. This is about one quarterback turns the ball over at a much higher rate than the other. And it's more difficult for me as a head coach to win football games when my quarterback turns the ball over as much as Jared Goff. Back to the Patriots, Cowboys. I have the Patriots taking a W on this one. I think the Cowboys are going to slip up on the road in Foxborough. I have Bill Belichick really flustering this offense. I think he's going to take away the run game. Look, take the Patriots for what they are. They're the Patriots of old, no, but I still think it's a difficult place to play. You saw how they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, very close. Weather conditions could be very similar. I don't think Dak Prescott's going to blow up and throw for 3-4 touchdowns, so I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to take the Patriots. The final score, 27-24. They sneak a win against the Dallas Cowboys. Upset alert over the weekend.
All right, well, we're going to head to break, and coming up after the break, we touched on this a little bit earlier. We're going to talk about the GOAT, my crush, Tom Brady, after we return from the break. But first, Adam, tell us about our friends at Underdog Fantasy.
Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. The NFL season is underway, and you can still draft a new fantasy team each week on the Underdog Fantasy app. Use their slick mobile app and user-friendly website to access and join a league at any time and draft a team within minutes. Plus, if you sign up today using code WSN, the folks at Underdog Fantasy will give you a free $10 when you sign up using code WSN. Again, download the Underdog Fantasy app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store. But there's one more friend I do have to tell you about. Legacy Partners Insurance. Guys, when you watch the games, you're bombarded by insurance ads promising to save you money. But if you really want to save money, you need to visit Legacy Partners Insurance. They're independent, so they're shopping between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance to find the best deal. Here's what I need you to do. Call 586-209-4106. That's 586-209-4106. Tell them Kennedy sent you. I know she's here right now, but tell them Kennedy sent you, and you will be automatically added into a weekly $50 gift card prize. So who knows? Maybe you win it. We will see you right after the break.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Happy Friday. We were talking NFL. We're going to stick with it. Tom Brady with the win last night, 44 years old, still looking good, still playing good, having a great life. Is he ever going to retire, guys? Is he?
Himself. Number one, his nutrition. What he does with the TB12 stuff and everything. His I don't know what he's drinking. He's got the secret sauce. I need some of that when I get older. I want to look that good. But he not only looked good, but he's playing good. And if you're not getting hit as much as Tom Brady, I mean, the guy barely gets sniffed at all. So his offensive line does a tremendous job. So if you're going to keep protecting the man, he's going to keep playing. If he just has to sit there, like Adam said, he's so far above the opposing defense every single game, like in terms of processing information, that as long as he's upright and healthy, he's going to want to keep playing. I mean, he had the little minor knee injury he was working through in the offseason. Everyone kind of worried about him, but he's only been sacked a handful of times this year. He's, near 70% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Like Joanna alluded to earlier, like he deserves to be in this MVP conversation statistically, team-wise. I mean, people just don't like to say it because he's 44 years old, but he's defining. I mean, the guy threw for 40 touchdowns in his 20th season. I mean, it's absolute ridiculous, and it's unheard of because if you look at all the sports, you look at Vince Carter's of the world, of the NBA, or you look at all people in baseball, in the MLB, who play well above they're supposed to. Like Vince Carter played what, till he's 41, 42 years old. You're like, all right, Vince, time to get out of here. Like you're getting up there. At least basketball, such a physical toll, running up and down the court on your legs, on your knees. But football is a different animal, especially at the quarterback position, where some guys like Andrew Luck retire because they're being hit too much. And you have a guy like Tom Brady who's 4 years in, and he still looks just as great physically, mentally, and it's ridiculous, Adam. He's defying all odds.
I admire Tom Brady. I really do.
He's defying
Unbelievable. He is the GOAT. It's not even a conversation. But I got to say, it's not even fair. He's had 3 Hall of Fame careers. His first 3 Super Bowls early on in New England. The evolution, he became more of an MVP-type candidate. Won 2 Super Bowls. He turns 40, wins another 2. I don't get it. 7 Super Bowls, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Almost could fill both hands.
What are we doing?
Rings. I mean,
this guy is not even fair. There should be the Pro Football Hall of Fame and then the Tom Brady Hall of Fame.
I agree.
And he should be by himself, and it's the most... You couldn't... You know what? If this was... Let's say you're like a screenwriter or an author, and you wanted to like write a book about this. People would say it's a fiction. There's no way this dude makes it in the league. 6th round, 199th overall.
Last pick.
Drew Bledsoe gets miraculously hurt when he should have just gotten down. It gets hurt on the sideline. In comes Brady, first year as a starter, Super Bowl champion. Dynasty, first 4 or 5 years in the league. And then goes a 9-year stretch. No, excuse me, a 7-year stretch, 0-2 in the Super Bowl. Then proceeds to win another 5 in what, a 9-year stretch? Come on, you can't script this stuff, guys. 44 years old, coming off a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, first year there. Now, one of the front runners for MVP at 44 years old. I don't know if he'll ever retire. I don't know. He's not getting hit anytime soon. The game is too slow for him. He sees everything before even the defense sees it. It's unbelievable. He's got Antonio Brown as his slot receiver, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, Leonard Fournette, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
It's unheard of.
The guy just knows everything. He's beyond... We're beyond he is Peyton Manning, Joe Montana. It's not even like you can't even mention any of these quarterbacks with Brady anymore. And I don't know what to do. I don't. This guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The career he's had, you will never, ever, ever, ever see it again. You will never see a quarterback play late into his 40s and through 3 aspects or time periods of his career, he was a Super Bowl quarterback in every single one of them.
Look at Drew Brees.
Him at the age of 40 on is a Hall of Fame career. Him his first 5, 6, 7 years in the league, Hall of Fame. Him in between those, Hall of Fame career. Jesus Christ. He's thrown for more yards than Troy Aikman has since he's turned 40. Or I believe 37. It was something like that. Some ridiculous number. Yes, I know it's easier to throw in today's NFL, but like the point is, it doesn't add up.
No.
I don't know when he'll retire. I don't. Maybe it will be 50. Maybe he just wants to mess with us. Maybe by the time the Lions get to a Super Bowl, they'll have to play against Tom Brady when he's 61. And then he'll beat them. Just to give it to us, honestly.
So you don't think if he wins the Super Bowl this year that he's going to call it quits and end on a high note?
No, he'll try to win it again.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
People like this are built different.
Yes. Built difference, a key word.
He'll get 8, and he'll be like, well, I have 2 more fingers. I need to come back for 3, 4 more years. I can do it in 3, 4 years.
And Adam, him saying, I want to play till 50, like, it doesn't, like, when he says things like that, usually, like, oh, these guys are just trolling us. But no, he can play till he's 50. He'd probably be the only guy that could play till he's 50, look that young, and still throw touchdowns. I don't know. And you know what? The Drew Brees argument's interesting because Drew Brees now working for NBC doing football commentary. He was playing till he was 40 years old. People are saying, "Oh, your arm looks nothing like it used to." I mean, that arm is shot. Tom Brady is 4 years older, and
listen, if I got to do kale salad, kale drinks, spinach, artichoke, avocado, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, I need to get on it. I don't know how much the TB12 program is, but I'm not joking now. I'm actually going to consider it after the show today. I'm going to go online and I'm going to get a consultation. And I'm going to see what this is all about. Because how half the league isn't signed up on TB12 right now is beyond me. It really is. This guy is unbelievable. He defies logic. He defies every science, physics, every aspect of life. He defies it. It's unbelievable to watch, Jeff. When is he going to retire?
Probably never. He might be an old man throwing dots. I don't know. But you know what's kind of crazy to think about when people say, well, Adam Vinatieri's got 2 game-winning Super Bowl kicks for Tom Brady. But you know what I like to say back, which makes more sense? The guy could have even more Super Bowls. Like he lost.
If it wasn't for BS David Tyree catching a BS ball, and then Eli Manning somehow throwing a beautiful ball to Mario Manningham, I believe it was. On the
2 years
sideline.
of the Giants,
I mean,
with the 16-0 team that was undefeated. Like this guy could literally.
I don't even want to acknowledge that narrative. Like I hate people that think like that, but I gotta say, I don't think Tom Brady ever retires.
No.
I think he wins an 8th, 9th, or maybe even 10th Super Bowl. Roger Goodell comes in and says, you're not fair. We're suspending you from the league. Get out of the league. We'll make your own Hall of Fame. You, Tom Brady, are unfair.
It's not fair.
It's not even fair. It's not. Joanna, when is he going to retire? I have to ask you.
The dude's going to need a colonoscopy while he's in the league. Like, I mean,
and you're supposed to get a colonoscopy after 40, so he should already.
Okay, he's going to need another one.
He's the first Super Bowl winning quarterback to get a colonoscopy.
It all started too. What's funny is going back to his Michigan days where he was competing with Drew Henson. It's just how his career has gone. But I mean, it's 44. I give him realistically 2 more years. I think. Then he'll retire. He has such a great life. He'll want to enjoy his kids more and do stuff like that. But man, Tom Brady is surreal. And I think you're right. We should all go look at the TB12 after the show.
Yeah.
And I'll sign up for it.
Max it out. Buy as much as you can.
I don't get it. I don't understand what's in it. Beetlejuice. I don't know if he's eating goat milk or drinking it, eating goats live. I don't understand. Maybe he's eating frogs. I don't know. I don't know at this point. It could be anything. All I know is whatever it is, it's freaking working. And his body is unbelievable, and he's putting in the time. It's not like he's just waking up, eating a fruitcake, and he feels like a ton of better. I mean, the guy is really committed to his body, and that's the new trend, hopefully, for years to come for every athlete, not just Tom Brady.
100%. I mean, there was other sports like LeBron president, like other guys have been able to for the longevity, but Tom Brady's in his own class. Like LeBron, he could be 36 years old and still play like he's 23, but it does not matter. Like Tom Brady is 44 years old. In the most physical sport, I mean, there's besides combat sports, but the most physical sport, it's ridiculous. It's unheard of, man. Got to give credit where it's due. Got to.
Well, he is certainly fun to watch, and we got to head to a break, but it's Friday, so you know what that means. The guys are going to give their best bets of the weekend. That's coming up next after the break. First, Jeff, my son needs a haircut this weekend, and where should I go?
Well, listen, your son, and Tom Brady, looks that fresh. He should go here as well because Tom Brady could use some Lady Janes. Because, guys, let's be honest, we like simple stuff, like football 5 days a week. And we like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. You walk in, you sit down in one of these comfy chairs, talk to some lovely ladies, and now in about, 15 minutes, you're walking out with a fresh haircut, handsome and clean. So come in, Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. They're open 10 to 8 every single day. You walk in anytime because it is wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's a Friday. You know what that means. Lots of action over the weekend. The guys are going to give their best bets of the weekend. Adam, what do you got? Because you know you have some good ones.
All right, we're going to go college football first. Michigan State playing this weekend Like it? I love it. 3.5 points. Give me it all day. Kenneth Walker going to run all over Indiana.
Yes.
Jaden Reed. The Michigan State offense, too dynamic. For me, away to Indiana, this is a must-win game for Michigan State. Mel Tucker has these boys already confident, feeling good about themselves, focused. I don't see this team dropping a game here to Indiana, going into a bye week where they then follow it up on Devil's Night against Michigan. This is a team that's going into East Lansing 7-0. Again, love the 3.5 points. Give me it all day. I'm taking State 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. I mean, you see what Indiana, it's obviously away, so they're going to Indiana. That's where it comes in Indiana's favor, but nonetheless, I love the bet. I mean, you got a guy last week, 300-yard passer, 200-yard rusher, 200-yard receiver. They're too dynamic not to bet. So, listen, I love it. I mean, they're going to Indiana. I think they're personally going to absolutely beat the brakes off Indiana, so I trust it.
All right. Next game. We've got Green Bay, Chicago. Like it? No. I love 5.5 points. I just do. 5.5 points away to Chicago. Sorry, Chicago isn't going to score enough points, in my opinion, to deal with Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Smith. I think this is a very difficult week for a rookie in Justin Fields, 2-0 as a starter. I believe he loses his first game to none else than the Green Bay Packers. I'll take the 5.5 points for the Green Bay Packers in this matchup.
And yeah, the Bears are coming off a performance last week. They won 20-9 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders looked a little off, but I think they get humbled this week. I love the bet. I mean, you look at the last two performances by Justin Fields. It's been all right. They've been able to win games, trusting the run game. Damian Williams is out, and already they have David Montgomery. I don't know why I just had a brain fart there, but David Montgomery, 2 running backs out, Khalil Herbert. It's going to be a tough ask for Justin Fields. He's going to have to do a whole lot for them to pull out even a close game against Aaron Rodgers, considering the weapons they have, man. If they get Tunyon going, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get very ugly. So, good bet.
I love this is one of my favorite, but I gotta intervene a little bit. Before I continue on with my bets for the weekend, somebody in the chat made a great point. Guys, over this upcoming weekend, Saturday, Sunday, the NHL slate, anytime you can parlay more than 3 games over 5.5 goals, take it. I'm telling you, it's early on in the year. Goalies are still getting their legs under them. They're still adjusting to in-game shots. You know, that speed is just different. It's different than practice. The defensemen are all getting adjusted. Take the over at 5.5 whenever you can get it. It's free money. I did it yesterday. Turned $25 into $516. So that is a bet for the weekend. You should always consider weekend. Weekday doesn't matter. Anytime you can get more than 3 games over 5.5 in the NHL, you take it. Next, I, again, don't like it. No. I love the Los Angeles Rams to smoke the New York Giants this weekend. I'm also taking the points. This is the first time I've given 5 bets that are all relying on the spread. Typically, I give an upset or two, but no. We're taking the Rams to cover 9.5 points. I think they win big. Cooper Kupp shines in this game. Again, you're going to have to pick. Who am I stopping? Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp? Good luck trying to stop both. Not going to happen. New York, I don't think, has the secondary to match up with the Los Angeles Rams' weapons. Too much. Matthew Stafford, big day, puts himself back into the MVP conversation. I have the Rams winning by more than 9.5 points. Take the points on the Rams.
Yeah, anytime you got Mike Glennon, Devontae Booker going against, arguably the offensive player of the year this year. I mean, until last game, obviously, had a down game. I think Cooper Kupp bounces back this week, goes for well over 100. Robert Woods will stay in the mix as well. I think Matthew Stafford has a great game bouncing back, considering what they had, against the Seahawks and with Geno Smith. I think this defense just gets clicking, and Aaron Donald gets after Mike Glennon. So I love it, man. The Rams are going to come out and beat the brakes off them. So.
All right, next game, Pittsburgh, Seattle. Pittsburgh home to the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith's first start in a while. No Russell Wilson, out for the next probably 4, 6, 8 weeks maybe. We'll see how that develops throughout the season. But big win coming for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only 5.5-point favorites. I think they win by at least a touchdown against Seattle. Seattle has the weapons to put up points. I do think Najee Harris, Chase Claypool, they're going to cause enough problems. Maybe even Deontay Johnson. All I know is that the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to roll with them this weekend. I expect a win, 7-10 points. I'll take the 5.5. I love Pittsburgh this weekend.
Yeah, no Juju Smith-Schuster, no problem. I mean, that guy, listen, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Najee Harris, also acting as a wide receiver. I love it. I mean, their offense, you can say what they want about Ben Roethlisberger's noodle arm, but against Seattle, who, with Geno Smith, they're going to struggle to score. They're going to be punting a whole lot. Geno Smith looked good at the end of the Los Angeles Rams game, but you got to understand, Pittsburgh's game planning for Geno Smith. They're game planning for him. So it's going to be a very different outcome for this team, and I think they're going to struggle this week tremendously, and I love it. I think Pittsburgh, as much as we hate them, not hate them, but dislike what they're doing on the football field, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you'd be crazy not to take the bet. You'd be crazy.
All right, last game. No, don't like it. I love Denver.
Man, you love all these,
First,
man.
I love all my bets. Let's be real.
More Justin Herbert, though?
I'm really great at this. I left the Chargers game out. Again, I told you I was going to avoid betting on it.
Okay.
Listen, I'm trying to make money here. It's not about who I have a crush on or anything. Broncos, 3.5-point favorites at home, Mile High City, against the recently fired head coaching staff of the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think the Raiders bounce back. I think they're going to go in turmoil. This is a lost season for them. I don't see them recovering. Tough loss. Expect a big win for the Denver Broncos. I think they do it through the ground, though. I think Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams really have a day here. I think the Broncos defense really stifles Derek Carr. They'll key in on Waller. Henry Ruggs, is he going to show up? He shows up once every 4 or 5 games. That's not a recipe for winning football games. I don't think much of the Raiders secondary either. They're banged up a little bit. Last week they started a first-year corner. So I am going to take Denver, 3.5 points. I don't see the Raiders galvanizing and recovering. I'm taking the points for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos, you could say what you want. I mean, Colin Cowherd had this team in his top 4 teams the first couple weeks. And say what you want about Teddy Bridgewater, they still have a great defense. If they get Javonte Williams going, along with Melvin Gordon, they have a pretty good run game. If they can get those guys going, makes Teddy Bridgewater's job a whole lot easier. Jerry Jeudy still a little banged up, but nonetheless, I think that Vic Fangio comes out, gets a win against Rick Bas. I don't know how to say the interim head coach, Rich Basakia.
I'm not even attempting. I'm not going to be made a fool on this.
For the Las
I don't need
Vegas
to be
Raiders.
clipped and memed on this. I'm not attempting his last name. Get it away from me. They're losing on Sunday. That's all I know. That's all I care about.
I don't trust Rich, and I don't trust this team to bounce back like Adam said. Too much. It's just too much going on with the organization. Too much mental fog to come into this game and win on the road against Denver. So I agree with you.
Okay, final recap before we go. Take Michigan State 3.5 points. Take Green Bay 5.5 points.
Yep.
Los Angeles Rams 9.5 points to blow out the New York Giants. Take Pittsburgh at home. First Geno Smith start in a while for him. Yes, Seattle has the weapons, but I'm taking Pittsburgh minus 5.5 points. And of course, we're gonna the cherry on top, Denver to cover 3.5 points against who else? The Las Vegas Raiders. Those are my bets for the weekend. I'm so excited.
Let me ask you this: what's your book 'em bet? Like your bet, you like book this bet. Like out of all these bets, trust in this one right here.
All right, book it. Michigan State covers 3.5 points.
There you
Book
go.
it, take it home. Tell your wife you're refinancing the house. Put 50 G's on that game. Michigan State cover the 3.5 points. And if they don't, I am not responsible for you losing your house.
You got to add that in.
Make
after
sure
that.
you put that disclaimer in there.
To be
don't.
fair, I did offer to pay Pillar's mortgage prior to the Lions season started. Fun fact. If the Lions won 10 games, which clearly that's not going to happen.
Dude, this man in his betting, even off betting websites, like you love it because you're so confident.
I'm always right.
I know, and you're in such a good mood when you do it too.
I am right 90% of the time, not only in bets, but everything I say.
That's
Hey,
arguable.
guys, what are we doing here?
It's arguable.
It's not. It's not even a debate. You can roll the tape and just go find out all those points in the season where Adam's right here, he's right there, he's right. I'm right all the time. I can't help it. Believe me, I wish I was more wrong than I was right. Believe me, it'd make my life a lot easier. It's hard being as right as I am. Trust me, it's not easy sitting up here every day and being as right as I am every single day. Trust me, it's not an easy job.
Not sure where to go from there.
I know it's so funny. This man will say he'll say something right. I'll agree with him, but he's still right. Like even though I have the same opinion, he's right. I mean, you just got to give it to the man. I mean, two smart fellows up here, good looking fellas
I
with
love
nice
you, man.
hair.
Thank
you know what I mean?
Appreciate the compliment. Somebody compliments me for once in my life.
Let's,
Oh my God.
Let's see if you're right with what we're coming up after the break, what we're going to talk about. We're going to give our predictions on the Lions-Bengals. We'll see if you're right on that one, Adam. But first of all, tell us what we have going on this Friday with high school football as well as Sunday with the pregame Lions.
Yes, ma'am. Tonight we've got Friday Night Clash brought to you by Woodward Sports, Planet Fitness, and The Prep. We have the PSL Public School League Championship. Tonight, Castac versus King. We're streaming it at 9 p.m. You can catch it on YouTube, Twitter, and our Facebook. Again, why do we do this? Well, we want to showcase all the young high school athletes, the student sections. The students are the best part of all this, honestly. It's an opportunity to really highlight the school, that community feel that, we're all in this together. I love it. I'm all for it. Tonight, again, Castag versus King. And on Sunday, we'll be down at, where else, guys? Home game, Tin Roof, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Detroit Lions. Pre-game show, Joik Bell. The crew is going to be down there.
Yes,
Joy
sir.
Bell, Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, Maz, Stick. We're all going to be down there. Joanna's going to be down there. We're all going to be having a good time pre-gaming for the Lions. Do they get their first win? We'll talk about that next. But before we go, I do want to remind you we also have a post-game show hosted by who else? Stick and Anson. Happens at the Brass Rail after every Lions game, home or away. Check it out. It's also streams on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It starts at the 2-minute warning of every fourth quarter.
Papa Romano's has a pizza that is pleased to meet you. The Pizza Pizza is a sizzling deal and fully loaded with pepperoni, ham, Italian sausage, ground beef, and bacon. Get a large Pizza Pizza for $16.99 at paparomanos.com.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are going to find out if Adam is always right, like he claims he is. We're going to give our predictions on the Lions-Bengals game this Sunday at home. Good thing it's at home. But Adam, what do you say?
Well, Jeff and I are 4-1 this year. Jeff, have you picked outside of the Bears game the Lions winning a football game? I don't think so, right?
No.
Yeah, so we're both 4-1 picking the games this year. So far, so good. We're doing pretty good. But my final score prediction for Sunday, again, I think this is a very tricky game. Now, if I'm going on based on narrative, I think the Bengals blow this game out. 31-17, 31-20. I don't think it's close. But watch out for the Detroit Lions. This is a team it's dying to get the first win for their head coach. The players want it, the coach wants it, the city wants it. Yes, everybody understands it's a rebuild, but what better opportunity than a home game? But I will say, if the Lions lose, I can't wait. And I'll tell you why. It's not in a bad way. Hear me out. You go in 0-6 to Los Angeles. The Rams are 5-1. Like,
it's kind of
everything
ironic
against you, and that could be your first win. Lions fans would hold that win forever in their hearts. So, losing this game isn't that bad idea. If they win it, then I think they lose to the Rams pretty easily. I think that really takes off a lot of the tension, the energy that's coming out of the Detroit Lions. But I got to say, I think the Bengals win this game. I'm going to go 31-20 Cincinnati. I don't see how the secondary continues to overcompensate with all the injuries they have. I think Minnesota made a grave mistake. Cincinnati are going to watch that game back and say, wow, they should have put their foot on the gas pedal. They should have kept attacking Justin Jefferson down the field, and they will do the same with Jamar Chase. So 31-20, I've got the Bengals winning.
Well, we know what Jamar Chase does in single coverage. So Aaron Glenn, rule number one, do not allow Jamar Chase. Just like Jefferson last week. I mean, the guy, like Adam said, first half, absolutely torched. Not even Amani Oruwariye, but just our secondary in general. But I think this defense will bring it this week. Tracy Walker. God, I love basketball, NBA. God, Tracy Walker, the third, has been playing so great this season. He's a top 2-3 rated safety in PFF. So the guy has been playing tremendous football. If they can come out, set the tone early, and not allow Jamar Chase to catch balls all over them. Literally, what he's been doing to every team. He has a touchdown, I believe, in every game this season. He has one game where he doesn't have a touchdown, but then another game he has two. So he still has as much touchdowns as these games this season. So the guy's been playing magnificent. I got the Bengals winning. I think it'll be closer. I think the Lions actually score the most they have this season. I don't know why. I think 27-20 is what I got. One score game. I think the Bengals, they pull it off, and it's another loss where you can be like, dang, the Lions almost had it again. But it's the narrative for me, Adam. It's too big of a narrative. The Bengals are 3-2. I don't think Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, they understand how big of a moment this is. Joe Burrow's been on voice rest this week. He had the throat injury last week. I don't think they can allow number one to go 3-3, but more importantly, in this division, their division they're in. But they're going away to the Detroit Lions. They have to win this game. They absolutely have to win this game. They just lost last week to the Packers, very close one. And the next 4 games or so, it's going to be a tough stretch. So I think the Bengals, the narrative is too tough. I think the Lions go into LA 0-6, and it makes it that much more interesting because how ironic. Quarterback for Jared Goff, Sean McVay got rid of him, knew what he was, and he's 0-6 with his new team. Now, Matthew Stafford, the guy that a lot of people would say was the problem, is 5-1 in LA. It would be a great narrative. It'd be a great game to watch, and it'd be really ironic to see Matthew Stafford beat the brakes off his old team. So cannot wait, but nonetheless, I think the Bengals get it done. Jamar Chase, I believe, is still going to go off either in the free call at the first half, the second half. Nonetheless, he'll probably have over 100 yards, and we'll see what Joe Mixon does banged up. But it's going to be, I think it'll be a good game nonetheless. We'll all be down there at Ford Field. I'm sure it'll be popping. A lot of people will be hype about it. But nonetheless, what are you going to do? I mean, you're versing a better team. It's just how it is. And the Lions have the sixth toughest schedule for a reason. I mean, this is what you have to go through. You got to go through teams like the Bengals. So I think the Bengals get it done. 27-20. It's a close game. Joey Burrow throws for 3 touchdowns, gets a couple field goals in there, whatever. Whatever happens. But Bengals get a win. They do, unfortunately.
Joanna, your thoughts, your prediction on the game this Sunday.
I also have the Bengals winning 34-28. Now, that is the sports person in me. The fan in me wants to see the Lions win 28-24 at a packed Ford Field. It's going to be fun down there. But I just don't think Goff has it. I think there's going to be more turnovers again. That's going to cause issues. I don't see the Lions pulling this off. It's just not going to happen. 34-28, the Bengals are a better team. Unfortunately, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be upset because we're going to lose, and I'm not allowed to say we, right? You can't say we because you don't really play for the team, but I always say we. Bengals 34, Lions 28. We're going to be 0-6, like you guys said, heading into the Rams, and that is going to be the most fun game to watch.
I wish the Rams were undefeated. That would be so much more funnier. Like if it's 6-0 for 0-6, that'd be funny to me.
Again, I mean, I want to get Fish's thoughts. I already know what he's going to say, but Fish, I want your final score prediction. I know you're going to pick the Lions to win, but can you kind of walk me through how you're seeing them win? Because I don't see how it happens. Maybe just the Bengals come out completely flat.
Could.
And the Lions are just able to pull it off. But how do you see them winning this football game? Because I know you have them winning.
Well, we have DeAndre Swift. We have Jared Goff, who I know has not been looking good, but there's always room for improvement. Jared Goff's going to pop out of his shell and throw some good balls downfield. He's got Hawkinson. I know he's going to be triple or quadruple covered, but, he's like God to us, so he's going to catch all the balls he gets thrown to him. DeAndre Swift's going to run, let's say, 120 yards, and they're going to find a way to win. 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay, close game. I like that, Fish. I'm okay with that. I got to call out somebody.
Is it me?
In this very room.
It's me, right?
He disappointed me yesterday.
It's me.
This man works really hard here. I consider him a very good friend. Then. But he took all the over 5.5 bets last night, and he did listen, and I was so proud of him. And I told him, well, how much did you win? And he tells me I didn't win. And I'm like, well, why? That doesn't make any sense. All the overs in the NHL hit last night. And this beautiful gentleman tells me that he picked the Tom Brady led Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover 7 points. They won by 6. And my heart broke for you. Alex, what are you doing, man? Why?
I did win money, though, because I bet them individually. So I did win money overall, but it still hurts. Still hurts.
There you go. But it still hurts.
That was $1 that would have turned into hundreds of dollars. That's very annoying.
But to his credit, though, yesterday on the show, I said Tom Brady would beat the brakes off the Eagles. I didn't know it would be 6 points.
I never bet Thursday night games for this exact reason. They're either closer than you think, or the teams come out flat, or the weather is just a factor. It's just always one of the three. It's unpredictable. I stay away from Thursday night games for a reason, and that's why they weren't on my bet slip, Alex. I'm so upset with you. So upset with you. Take Saturday, Sunday games over 5.5 and see how it goes. That's my recommendation to all of you at home. But we do have to get out of here, Joanna. It was a fun show. It's a lot.
Yes, it was a really fun show, and we'll be right back at it on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Go Green, go Lions, hopefully. Thank you for tuning in to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network.